Howdy everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Farmer Dave, and we're coming to you from a very smoky Magic Valley. Yeah, it is bad out. But that's what we get for Thursday, the 12th of August, 2021. On today's episode, I plan on doing a review of Ryobi power tools that I've been buying of late. Kind of went on a kick. Figured I wanted to see what they would actually do. But I'm not going to be going, oh my gosh, they're so incredible, they're unreal. I'm not going to even do an unboxing. I'm going to give you my honest opinion on each one of the tools that I've purchased. Whether or not your results are the same, that may vary. Anywho, we're going to get right to the Ryobi power tool review. Yeah, so stay tuned. Here we go. Oh boy, it's been a hot one out here. Let me tell you what. We 2 months early this year on having our 100-degree heat. Canal Company is cutting back water to half of what they normally send down. So we're basically turning into dry land farming around here. Anyway, that's neither here nor there with today's topic. So we're going to jump right into it. First up is the battery, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the battery. What I have here is a Ryobi 4 amp hour battery, 18 volt, 4 amp hour, and 1 plus. And I'm going to explain all of that to you right now before we get started on the tools. Ryobi makes a line of battery powered products that are all powered by 18 volt batteries, as that image that I just showed you, the battery shows. This is the size difference between a 1 amp hour and a 4 amp hour battery. Both 18 volt, both work the same tools, even the old dark colored blue ones, I think they were dark blue. These will work in those. There's even a new premium set out where this side is kind of a silvery gray color. Haven't looked into those too much yet, because these are going to do just fine for what I want to do here around the farm. The deal is between the 1.5 amp hour and the 4 amp hour. Pretend it's a gas tank in your vehicle, and your vehicle gets 10 miles to gallon. You put a 1.5 gallons in the gas tank, you go 15 miles in a vehicle with 10 miles to gallon. You put a 4 amp hour, 4 gallon tank in your vehicle, you'll go 40 miles before you run out of gas. That's what the amp hour thing is. The higher the amp hour, the more usable runtime you get out of your power tool. Something simple like this little radio, that little 1.5 amp hour battery will run that thing all day long, okay? But you get something like a circular saw, recip saw or something, the bigger and higher that amp hour rating is, the better off you're going to be. I promised I wasn't going to do an unboxing video. I'm not going to. I'm just showing you the kit. This kit regular prices at the local box store for about 260 bucks, give or take. I bought it. It was on sale for $199. The reason why I bought it was because of the oscillating saw that was in it, the drill, and the circular saw, and I had seen a possible use for that oscillating saw on a couple of things, and I ended up using it. So anyway, we're going to chuck this out of the way and get on to what was in it. First up is this cute little flashlight. Yeah, it sits up like this. It sits like that, of course. And the head swivels. So you can aim it dang near wherever you want light to go. And it is fairly bright. In fact, I really like this. I can sit here on the patio, and if there wasn't a hazelnut tree in the way right down here, I could light up down around the shop and the barn with this thing and see what was going on down there. Doesn't matter how big the battery is either. It's going to have the same output because all the batteries are the same amps, but it's the amp hour rating is what's different. The only thing I don't really care about this flashlight is I think it would have been a little bit better if it had a trigger underneath down here. Somewhere in here instead of up on top. It's kind of like holding a paint can weird and running a paint can. You know, with one of them little trigger things you put on a rattle can. But you know what? It works fine. It's a little nose heavy. When you try to hang on to it, it drops off. But that's okay. Yeah, I like it. That's the one thing I really like about that kit. The batteries, real easy to change them. You just squeeze the little paddle here on each side. Squeeze that in. It's a little lock mechanism. They go together. And like I said, that flashlight, that'll even run the big 4 amp hour battery. So, yeah, great little tool. The other thing that I got out of that I really wanted to try out and run was the Ryobi drill. Now, I'll just put this in here for demonstration purposes. Snaps right in. Has a 2-speed gear shift on it. You want to use number 1, which is the low speed for putting in screws, and number 2, which is the high speed for drilling holes. Unless you're in metal, and you want to go to the number 1. It does come with a, 24 position clutch on here. The clutch keeps you from stripping out screw heads or snapping screws off when you're putting them in. You can set it so that the screw head hits the wood, maybe countersinks just a little bit, and then it releases and it makes a buzzing noise, so it stops turning the screw so you don't snap the heads off. It has a little light down here at the bottom. You see that thing lights up right there? Yeah, a little light so you can see what you're doing. It has a magnet to hold your bit in place down here like that. Yeah, it don't fall out of there. It stays there. There's a bit in there, that thing. So, and it, again, runs any of the batteries. Great little tool, but I am not at all terribly impressed with the keyless chuck. Somehow, that just, for average homeowner, it's probably all right. But I noticed in working on the outhouse, I was constantly changing between a drill bit and a screwdriver deal on the end of it. Screwdriver deal, that little thing right there with the number 2 Phillips on the end of it. And they all have a hex head on them anymore with that little ring in it. Well, that is to hold it in one of these. This is the impact driver, but we're covering the drill right now. So because I didn't like that chuck, one thing I bought, and it's a Milwaukee product, the drill doesn't care, it'll fit in whatever, is a bit holder, which is this thing. Let me hold it up here so maybe you can see it. Because I didn't trust that chuck for as far as I could throw it, I bought that bit holder. And what that allows me to do is takes the Phillips screwdriver bit, stick in there. Of course, you can get shorter, stubbier bits to go in there, and they work just as well. So anyway, that is the one I was using to build the outhouse with. That happens to be a Milwaukee product, but you can get it from DeWalt, Makita, whoever. No, I didn't get these for free. I paid for these out of my own pocket. And the other thing was you can get drill bits, that same hex shaft on it. So this is the bit size I was using to drill the pilot holes for the screws to go into. That goes in the same thing, just like that. Reason why I went this way, like I said, didn't trust constantly tightening up and untightening to change the bit that I was putting in the end of the chuck here. I think if you buy one of these drills, definitely invest in one of these magnetic bit holders and get the bits with that hex end on them with that little turned in collar on them. Definitely go that route. Don't trust the chuck. Next up is the Ryobi impact driver. Sounds like a drill when it's running, but you start working on nuts or putting in sheet metal screws, you'll hear it kind of make a buzzing noise. Kind of like a tire changing thing. Handy little tool, comes with a bit down here. It also has a flashlight down there and a magnetic holder here in the base forward reverse deal, so you can put in screws, remove screws. Super handy little tool. Don't know how long it's going to hold up though, because nose piece is all plastic. Shouldn't matter as long as there's metal gearing and whatnot in there. But yeah, it's got the metal nose piece on it. So far, I don't have anything to gripe about on this. It is a very well balanced tool. My hands are a little small, so some of these tools I can have a little bit of a trouble grabbing hold of the trigger. The Ryobi, I don't have that issue with them. So all in all, I think this is a pretty good little tool. And it works good on putting in the sheet metal screws. We use it on the roof of the outhouse. You'll probably see that in a video coming up later on. Not a bad little tool. I like that one. Another thing that came in the kit was a reciprocating saw. Most people call these a sawzall. Okay, sawzall is a trade name for this type of saw from Milwaukee. Yeah, Milwaukee invented the reciprocating saw, which this is, and they patented the name sawzall. So when you're talking sawzall, most people think of this type of tool, but they don't realize that a sawzall is actually a reciprocating saw made by Milwaukee. Real easy blade change. Flip that out right there. The blade goes in and out. I have just the standard issue blade here for it. I have not used this tool yet. This particular tool, I've used another one. You lift up that little gray tab, you stick that in there, the blade's in there. I'm not real keen on the fact that the foot here is not adjustable. It does tilt a little bit to accept the contour or whatever you're cutting. This is a standard 6-inch blade, good for cutting wood, that sort of thing. There's another blade that is suitable for trimming tree limbs. It's more aggressive in the teeth. Use that in another video. You'll see that coming up in a day or so in the front yard when I was trimming some willow limbs that I'd mentioned earlier that needed to come out. This tool has a trigger on it. It is variable speed, which is handy because you want to go slow if you're cutting metal, and you can go faster if you're cutting wood. It does lock, so you can push that over to lock it. I don't know that I ever would, because I don't know that that's even really necessary, but I guess it is. Just for safety for when you're changing the blade. Really quiet. Does have a lot of vibration to it. There's not much counterbalance in it. However, the vibration goes away when you have the foot here tied up against whatever you're cutting and the blade's actually working in the surface of the material that you're cutting. Most of that vibration goes away, so it's not a real bad thing to use. Fairly quiet, does a good job. Again, it is a wood engaging tool. Bigger battery, better. Another thing that came with that I've mentioned, and I did use it, so if you saw the outhouse video, you will have seen this thing. It is what they call a oscillating saw. It has a little saw blade right here on the end of it. You can see it or not. That little black thin thing. And down here underneath is a speed control or throttle. And it's fairly quiet. Not quite unlike being at a dentist office. Anyway, the lower you set that, like right there, it doesn't hardly do anything. So you come up, that's number 1. And it goes to number 6. The higher the number, the further the saw blade wiggles back and forth. It reminds me, oh, and it has a light in the nose of it too, right there. See there? Yeah, so you can see what you're cutting. Forgot about that. Anyway, real easy to get to speed control underneath here. It does take a while for it to come up to speed. But that's okay. It works great. The idea behind this was to actually cut sheetrock to install outlet boxes and that sort of thing for electricians. But it's got 1,000,001 other uses depending on what blade you put in there. These are real easy to change too. There is a Allen key down here in the base of it. You pull it out, stuff it in up here, and you unscrew that little collar, okay? And the blade comes off. I'm not going to do it because you get the idea, and I want to keep this video kind of on the short side. But that works really slick. Some tools like this have what they call a quick change thing. You just push a button and the thing pops right off. This one doesn't. It is a little set screw. That's okay. It works great for the price that you're paying for it. Doesn't make a lot of noise. It does have a lock on it, so you can lock it in the on position, so you can twirl it around and do whatever you're cutting and working with. Yeah, so don't think you need hearing protection with it or anything. Good little tool, pretty well balanced. Don't lose the key. If you do, it's just a standard Allen key to change that. Not a big issue. Okay, next up that came in that kit, let me reach over here, was this bad boy. Yeah, not as noisy as some, and it works pretty good. It comes with a 24-tooth carbide tip blade right in there, which is real handy. You can see the sawdust on it. Still, yes, it's sawdust. That's because I was using this on the outhouse reconstruction. I do have 4 amp hour battery in it. It will work on the 1.5 amp hour battery, but I run that 4 amp hour battery, cut wood off and on all day long, never had any issues with it. The adjustment, like most of these saws, for the depth of cut is right back here. To raise and lower that foot. You want to keep the tips of the blades yay far below whatever it is you're cutting, if you can. So yeah, that kind of works out pretty handy. It also has a knob here on the front so that you can angle the foot. So you can do like a 45-degree bevel cut or anything in between. You just tighten that up to hold it at whatever angle you want. Thing works real good. It's not horribly noisy. It does have a small blade on it though. It's like a 5.5-inch blade. Some of those blades are a little tough to find, but the Orange Box store in town comes with those in stock, several different sizes and whatnot. Blade is real easy to change. You push that little lock button right there. There's an Allen key here, just like on the oscillating saw. You take that Allen key out, remove the bolt that holds the washers and all that in place on here, and that little lock thing holds the blade so you can unscrew it, change it. The one thing on this saw, though, that I really have a gripe about is this clear plastic blade shield. Personally, I think that's junk. I found myself being extremely careful setting it down, because that's going to be the first thing that breaks on this saw. If I was you and you was me, I would order 1 or 2 of those just to have on hand, because sometime in your lifetime that thing is going to break. I don't know if it's going to break here because this is real thin here, or you're going to bust this piece down here when you drop it down and set it down on something, or just what. You are definitely better ahead, if you're going to store it, prop it with the foot down all the way as you can, because then you don't have as much of that plastic guard hanging down. That is the one beef I have with that. Does come with the little notch right up here, so you can line that up on your line that you've drawn where you want to cut. The blade is right on that, so that's a good thing. Does have a steel foot. Some of them are cast aluminum and whatnot. This one's a pressed steel. It has little measurements cast into the top up here. I don't know that you can see them. So you can kind of tell where you're at on the size of your board. There is a guide that you can put in up here on the foot on this side that slides in so you can go along the edge of a board. Has a little set screw that holds it in. You can get that to go with it. As you heard, not terribly noisy. If you got a lot of cutting to do, I would probably get some hearing protection. And as with all of these, wear goggles or a face mask of some sort. as I found on this thing when I was using it to cut the wood for the outhouse, I was always looking down. I'd set the line on the little tab here where you're supposed to, but I was always looking down here at the blade to make sure I was actually getting on the line when it would actually start cutting. So stuff would flip up in my face. So do wear goggles, safety goggles, when you're using any of these power tools. Okay. The other little thing I got that was kind of a bought on a whim was this silly little radio. I thought it looked cute. Don't buy one. Don't waste your time. That antenna is a piece of shit. It won't pick up any stations, hardly at all. Let's see. It has a power on and off button right here. That is a station out of Twin Falls. I don't know if you can hear it. That's an oldie station. Yeah, guess I got to get it up in line of sight. Yeah, comes with a USB thing, a little charge port and whatever. As long as it's got a clear line of sight, it's a pretty good little radio. Crank up the volume here, maybe you can hear it. Yeah, see? Yeah. Not so great. I think that thing was like 50 bucks. Not impressed. It does work though if you get the right spot and you can put it in there and you leave it there. It does work okay. Now, the other thing I got the other day was there was a, where is it? There it is. A special buy kit from Ryobi. 1 charger and 2 4-amp hour batteries. Heck of a deal, 99 bucks on sale. Last I looked, the sale is over. There's still 99 bucks if you can find that kit. By the way, I will put the item number in the description, well, in the video, so you'll know what item number the product is I'm talking about. Anyway, that kit right there. When they were doing the special buy and purchase deal, if you bought that kit for $99, which is a steal for those 4-amp hour batteries plus a charger, I'm going to tell you that up front, that's a steal. No BS about it. In fact, there's price tag right there. 99 bucks. Yep. So, heck of a deal. You bought that, you got a tool for free. So what did I get? I bought a jigsaw. I haven't used this yet. But I thought, what the heck? As long as I'm buying Ryobi stuff, I might as well buy the jigsaw. Kind of a cool little piece. It has a little roller thing down here, right in here, to help guide the blade. Easy, quick change. Just twist the little collar right here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you twist that collar, and the blade goes in there. It takes a standard T-shank blade, little protector on the front of it. The foot is tiltable, so you can go sideways, get 45-degree cuts or whatever with it. It also has, like the saw, the circular saw, a little place here where you can put a saw guide in there. They will interchange between this and the circular saw. That is worth an investment if you're going to go along the edge of something like here and you want to cut the board in half. You can run that little thing out, measure it, and cut this 2x6 in half, and you have a 2x3. So yeah, is a very good little tool. This little switch here is cut speed. There is no variable speed trigger. It is either on and off, and it does have a lock, so you can lock it on right here. I don't know that this thing, yeah, it does. It's right there. Has the little light under there. Let me plug a battery into it and I'll show you. Usually, as a general rule of thumb, you don't get a real accurate cut with a jigsaw. Don't know that with this one. Haven't tried it. Yep, there's that light up right there. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of noise. It's got some pretty good heft to it, so it'll stay down put on the work surface. And yeah, this little thing here shows you a chart, how to set it for whatever wood you're cutting or material, and does a good job. It does have a little Allen key right back here, so that if you need to, you can take something apart and adjust this plate here. Not take it apart, loosen it so that you can tilt this plate one way or the other. There's a pair of screws here on the side, down here at the bottom. You loosen those and you can tilt that 45 either direction off of Zero Dead Plumb. So pretty good little investment for the $99 purchase of the batteries. So for that money right there, I got 2 batteries, charger, and that saw. Pretty slick little deal. Now, something else I come up with, and I asked Skylar about it, my son. I said, do you suppose we'd ever have any use for it? And he said, no, Dad, we'll never have any use for it. Okay, I said, I won't get it then. Well, I got to thinking about it, and I have a couple of tractors down at Buell that I got to go retrieve yet. Buell's about 40-some miles away. And I thought, you know, I got to pump up a tire. So I bought this for 129 bucks. It is a battery-powered air compressor. Kind of a slick little idea. It has the motor in the back, little reset button right here. Yeah, right there. So if it overloads or overheats or whatever, you let it cool down, you push that back in. It's like a circuit breaker, resets it, and it goes. The battery fits in right there. Easy as peasy. Same thing, if you want to take it out, you just squeeze the 2 little tabs, pull it out. It recommends in the owner's manual a 4 amp hour or higher amp hour battery. And I will tell you why. The owner's manual says to put a fully charged 4 amp hour battery into this compressor, open the little drain cock for the tank, which that is closed, that is open, turn the thing on and let it run for half an hour or until the battery dries up. Yeah, so not terribly noisy, pumps up air pretty good. I am not impressed with the half-hour runtime. I'm thinking it has something to do with wearing in or seating in, however you want to call it, parts of the compressor, okay? I don't know that I'm going to let the thing sit there for a half hour or until the battery dies, just running and blowing air out that little drain. Now, this little drain is an important thing. This thing right here, every time you're done using it, you need to open that up and tilt the thing. So if there's any condensation of water in the tank, which happens in an air compressor, it'll drain out. On the back of this thing here, there is a safety relief valve right here that will pop off if the pressure in the tank gets too big. The handle is also part of the tank, I think. No, it isn't either. Never mind. It isn't either. Didn't look till just now. It does come with a standard industrial style coupler to hook your air hose into, which is down here on the ground. It does not come with air hose or anything. It comes less battery, just as you see it right there. That's all you get in the box for 129 bucks. This is on it for your air hose to hook to. You get the 2 gauges, one for how much air pressure is in the tank, one for how much is going out to whatever you're trying to inflate, and this is your control knob right here to adjust that. It does come with this handy little wire thing here where you can wrap a hose around it. Personally, I think that's a waste of time. That's more of a gauge protector than it is for anything else. Your best bet would be to go to the box store or your local hardware store, get one of them little coils of hose that stretches out like 25 feet or so, and put your fittings on the end of it and plug them in here, and then store them in a little separate box with the compressor. Yeah, on-off switch for the thing is right here. It works good. Like I said, though, I was not crazy about the half-hour wait time, so I put a battery in it, let it run for 5-10 minutes. Finally got bored with that, thought that was a really stupid idea. For whatever reason, that's what they want you to do. So I shut the little valve under here, that little thing right there. I shut that, hooked up my air hose in it, and inflated the front tire of the riding lawnmower, which only takes 15 pounds or 10 pounds, whatever. Thing didn't make a lot of noise. I was really kind of impressed, and it inflated the tire dang quick. And all I had done was I'd hooked up the hose while this valve was still open, shut the valve, walked over, and inflated the tire. And this thing pumped up air quick in that tire. Don't know what it would do to a car, truck, or pickup tire, or even a tractor tire, which I was thinking of inflating with this thing. But I don't know, it might be a good investment if you do traveling with an RV or something. You could throw this in with a couple of charged batteries, and if you get a low tire or flat tire out on the road somewhere, and all you got to do is pump it back up, here you go. If you take an electric rad bike with you on a vacation trip or something, or another brand of electric bicycle, tire goes flat, put a patch on it, here you go, pump it up. Beats the heck out of the old up and down pump it thing, yeah. So, real good little investment for it. Now, if you are traveling, they do make a 18-volt rechargeable battery charger that plugs into your cigarette lighter. So you can recharge the batteries on the go. Anyway, this was another little tool that I bought, and I was real impressed with it. When I get to using it more, I'll give you another update on this stuff. But so far, the only thing I felt a little gypped on was the radio. As you saw, it just doesn't work very well. Yeah. Anyway, that is my review on the Ryobi tools that I've purchased for the outhouse rebuild. So anyway, as always, that's going to wrap up this little video. It's hotter than heck out here. The bugs are starting to come out of the woodworks and whatnot, so I'm going to wrap this up. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Right down there is the subscribe button. Please click on that and the little bell icon next to it if you would. We're at 137 channel subscribers, and we're about the middle of August. It'd be kind of neat to hit 200 at the end of August or by then. Started out doing these videos, I've said before, for the grandkids so they can see what Grandpa was up to. So, yeah. Anyway, that's why we're doing the channel, but if you'd like what I've got going on here at the farm, we aren't doing a lot of farming this year because of the weather. Things kind of went south, so honest. We got some stuff in the works, though, that's coming up. So let's see how that goes, and we'll fill you in on that here on another video coming up. So as always, don't forget, give us thumbs up, thumbs down, click on the subscribe and the little bell icon next to it. Click on the word all so you can get notified every time there's another video out. And as always, I'm Farmer Dave. Y'all be careful out there now. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.